You know, the natural world is just packed with strange survival strategies. But every once in a while, you find one that sounds way more like science fiction than science fact. Today, we're diving into one of those cases, a tiny creature with a lifestyle that is truly bizarre and, let's be honest, pretty unsettling.
Okay, I want you to just picture this. Imagine a creature that doesn't just, harm its host. No, it performs a kind of gruesome surgery. It finds a fish, gets into its mouth, eats its tongue, and then it just takes its place. Seriously, what could possibly do that? Well, meet our culprit. It's a parasitic crustacean from the genus Cymothoa. There are around 46 different species in this group, and while they're important for a lot of reasons, they have really caught the attention of scientists for this one signature, incredibly strange behavior. So, how in the world does this tongue-eating parasite actually operate? Let's get a closer look at what might just be nature's oddest tenant.
And get this is not just some wild story. It's been scientifically documented for decades. A key paper from way back in 1983 confirmed that the parasite literally serves as a mechanical replacement. What happens is the real tongue withers away from lack of blood. Then the parasite just latches onto the stub, and the fish can actually use the parasite's body just like it used its own tongue. It is an absolutely unbelievable act of coevolution.
Now, before you get too creeped out, it kinda helps to know what these things actually are. They belong to a group of crustaceans called isopods, so they're basically the aquatic cousins of the roly-polies or pill bugs you might find in your garden. They just, happen to have a much, much more invasive lifestyle. So how does this unwanted houseguest even get into its new home in the first place? Well, the whole process of infestation is a pretty critical part of its life cycle.
These parasites, they can latch onto the skin or gills, sure, but they have a really strong preference for one location above all others. So where do you think they almost always end up? Well, when you look at the data, it's not even a contest. The answer is overwhelming. Over 60% of the time, they are found right in the mouth. The gills are a distant second. This isn't random at all. It's a highly specialized strategy to get them to their ultimate goal, the tongue. Now, while the whole tongue replacement thing is fascinating, let's not forget the host. For the fish, the overall impact is just devastating. The parasite causes lesions, it stunts the fish's growth. With a bug living in its mouth, the fish can barely feed. The open wounds can lead to other infections, and for a lot of these fish, this parasitic relationship is a death sentence. This creature is so unique that scientists have basically become global detectives, launching a hunt to understand its place in the world and mapping out exactly where these tiny parasites live. A recent study did something amazing. They pulled together data from scientific papers published all the way from 1976 to 2022. By compiling every single record, they were able to create the first truly comprehensive map of where every known Cymothoa species has been found. It gives us a complete picture of their global footprint. And here it is, the result of all that work. Each one of those colored dots you see, that's a documented sighting of a Cymothoa species, and the background color shows the average sea surface temperature, from the cool blues to the warm reds. Now, if you just look at the map for a second, a very clear pattern starts to jump out at you. The pattern is just undeniable. Cymothoa are not found everywhere, not by a long shot. They have a very strong preference for the warmest waters on the planet, clustering really tightly right around the equatorial zone. This link between the parasite and temperature is a huge clue for understanding its biology and, maybe, where it'll show up next. So that brings us to the parasite's personality, if you will. Are they picky eaters who stick to just one type of fish, or are they generalists, happy to make a home in any fish they can find? This is a really important question for ecologists. Is a parasite a specialist, adapted to only one or two hosts? Or is it a generalist that can infect a whole bunch of different species? The answer tells us a ton about how they spread and evolve. And the data gives us a surprisingly clear answer. A staggering 71% of all known Cymothoa species are specialists. This means the vast majority of them are extremely picky. They've evolved to target just one family or sometimes even a single species of fish. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy, right? By focusing on one host, they become perfectly adapted to it. We can see this difference so clearly when we compare two species. On one hand, you have a true specialist, a real picky eater, like Cymothoa bourbonica. It only goes after one family of fish. Period.
But on the other hand, you have the exception that proves the rule, a generalist, like Cymothoa indica. This one's been found in 10 different fish families, making it a true world traveler and one of the most widely distributed species out there.
So, okay, a tongue-eating sea bug is a fantastic bit of natural world horror, right? It's a great curiosity. But why does it actually matter? Well, its impact stretches all the way from the delicate balance of marine ecosystems to our own economy. Yeah, the impact is very real. For commercial fisheries, infestations mean smaller, less healthy fish, which, of course, reduces the value of their catch. It's also a huge problem for fish farms, where these parasites can spread like wildfire. And ecologically, the presence or absence of these specialized parasites can actually tell us a lot about the health of a marine environment. Ultimately, studying a creature like Cymothoa isn't just about satisfying our curiosity about weird stuff in nature. It's a window into the intricate and, yeah, often brutal connections that define life in our oceans. Understanding these parasites helps us map biodiversity and see firsthand just how interconnected every single species truly is. And that brings us to our final lingering question. Since we know for a fact these parasites thrive in the warmest waters, what happens as climate change continues to heat up our oceans? Where will they go next? What new fish will they encounter? And what new territories will this tongue snatcher conquer?